Just gotta warm up. What's up? I'm Trent Windsor and we're here in search of the perfect shuffle. It's time for another segment of clearing out the archives where I shuffle my music and whichever album pops up, that is the album I review song by song. If a song is more than 50% skippable, if I would skip it more than half the time, I say get rid of it, not worth your time. If it is less than 50% skippable, I say hold on to it, it's a worthy addition for your perfect shuffle. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this time, I just did a new shuffle for New Year. I didn't really want to review that Nina Nesbitt album, and no shade to Nina Nesbitt, I just wasn't feeling it. I just did a new shuffle, and the album that popped up was Beerbongs Bentleys by Post Malone. Post Malone is a very popular hip-hop, R&B, pop artist right now. He's rumored to be very stinky in person, but I can testify from personal experience that he just smells like a normal person. He really broke onto the scene with his debut album, Stoney. He had some hits on there like Congratulations, White Iverson. His second album, Beerbongs Bentleys, however, was delayed a couple times, and although it was only delayed a few months, for fans it felt like it was delayed forever and ever, and people were so eagerly waiting for this album. Was it really worth the wait? Let's find out as I review it song by song. Now, there are 17 songs and one interlude on this album. So instead of going one by one, I'm going to do it tier list style, give you some abbreviated impressions. We're going to go S, A, B, C, F. So let's start out with S tier. In S tier, you've got songs like Rockstar, which was the big breakout hit for this album, the big single. And this single was out way before the album ever was. It's dark, it's gritty, it's so clean, and this is one of those songs that really shows off how brooding Post's voice can be, both in his singing and his melodic rapping style. He throws in some great references to classic rockers, Bon Scott, Jim Morrison. It's cool to see 21 Savage come in there and really compliment Post Malone. Throw in a different style, but they both really work together. Also, in the S tier, we have Psycho featuring Ty Dolla $ign. Interestingly enough, this is one of the songs from the album that was actually produced by Post Malone, which is pretty impressive to me. It's a flashy, subdued brag, very shiny, and it feels pretty effortless. This one shows off Post Malone's singing voice a little bit more, and it is perfectly complemented by the effortless and relaxed voice of Ty Dolla $ign. Last on the S tier, we have Ball For Me featuring Nicki Minaj. This one has a bright, bouncy, brash beat. This one's pure braggadocio. He talks about how he doesn't have time to go get his girl Saint Laurent, so just take my money and go. And that's the ultimate brag, when you can just let your girl shop for herself and you don't really care how much money she spends. All of this is topped off by an incredible feature from Nicki Minaj. My favorite line in this whole song, Nicki says that she's still dropping jaws, got him looking like James Harden at the awards. Which is a great reference to when Nicki performed at like the ESPN Sports Awards, and it cut to a video of James Harden and he's just like Anyways, all of these songs in the S tier are really awesome. Songs that I would say have great songwriting, really catchy hooks, melodies that are so well written. I'd say the S tier is 25% skippable. Moving on to the A tier, we've got Spoil My Night. Super clean beat, very slick. Another display of superb songwriting, really catchy melodies. This one is probably the one that sticks with me the most. A decent little Sway Lee feature in there. My favorite are the little punchlines that Post throws in here. Talks about how he spots a little shorty through the wall of jabronis, and how he hasn't even seen her face yet, but she's got beautiful boobies. And what more do you need to know about a woman? Disclaimer, there's lots more to know. We've also got the radio hit Better Now, which is another huge single for Post Malone. Incredibly catchy, a little bit more introspective, kind of shows the dark side to this money and fame, how those kinds of things still don't buy you relationship happiness. You have the song Stay, which is a really raw and introspective acoustic ballad. Post lays down a really raw vocal performance on this one, and the lyrics are incredibly raw to go with it, and they're not corny, which is an important part of a good guitar ballad. Last in the A tier, we have Candy Paint, which is also produced by Post Malone. This is a sweet, crisp brag track, as many of the tracks on this album are. Once again, some nice one-liners, talks about how he loves paper like he's Michael Scott. I almost forgot, also in the A tier we have 92 Explorer, which is a song that I honestly hadn't given a lot of attention to before, but gosh dang, we've got a bump and beat on this song. And you can really thank London on the track for this one. That beat just, oh, it just hits you. It's really catchy, really unique. All these songs in the A tier are great songs, songs that I listen to regularly. I would say that they are 35% skippable. Onto the B tier, we have the song Paranoid, which is the opening track. Decent melody, still pretty clean production, just not quite as catchy as some of the other songs in the album. You have the song Rich and Sad. The point of this one is he's got money now, but it didn't keep her around. It didn't make her want to stay. And so it's another one of those introspective type tracks from Post. Apart from the more introspective and emotional lyrics, the rest of the track is a little bit more dry. We have the song Other Side, which is also produced by Post Malone. This is a dark, brooding track about sadness and betrayal. Sometimes to me it kind of feels like a Starboy clone, but maybe that's because I've listened to Starboy approximately 1,000 times. Oh. We've also got the song Same B Words. I'm not going to say the swears. This one's a funny, confident brag track. YG and G-Eazy both really kill it. Glad to hear a verse from G-Eazy that I didn't feel was so corny and white, and YG bringing his typical swagger in perfect form. Last in the B tier, we've got this song Sugar Wraith. This one's a little bit more generic, but I can't deny how catchy it can be. So all of these songs in the B tier, I'd say they're worth keeping around. They're just not quite at the same level as some of the other songs on the album. I would say they're still 40% skippable. In the C tier, we have one single song, and that is Zach and Codeine. There's really nothing memorable about it other than the title. It's funny, it makes me chuckle. Gives me a little ha-ha, hee-hee, hoo-hoo. But honestly, it's just pretty bland. There's nothing necessarily super bad about it, nothing that makes me go, but I would still say it's 60% skippable. Moving on to the F tier, we've got the song Taking Shots. It's okay, it's just boring, and sometimes it gets pretty corny. Post Malone does this thing. I can't get over that, man. That freaking cracks me up. We've also got the song Over Now, which has a boring melody, boring beat, generic lyrics, and it's bitter, but in a really aggressive way. Last in the F tier, we've got Blame It On Me, which is just straight up boring, and it drags on. Definitely the weakest song of the whole bunch. All of these songs in the F tier, I would have to say, are 70% skippable. Tallying everything up, doing the math, this album as a whole is 42% skippable. Post Malone is a unique talent, and this album really showcases exactly what's great about him. Post Malone comes into Beerbongs and Bentleys triumphant and confident, and it's amazing to see those things come through in his music, while still somehow staying raw and personal. Some of these songs definitely fall flat, but even the less memorable songs have an undeniable charm and a vibe that is purely Post Malone. Alright, let's shuffle our music, see which album I'll be reviewing next.
Alright, we're just going to go into our music library here, go into albums, and hit shuffle. Alright, looks like the next album I'll be reviewing is Oracular Spectacular by MGMT.
Thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below, let me know what you think about Post Malone. I'd love to hear your opinions about Beerbongs and Bentleys or anything regarding Post in general. Let me know if there's an album you'd like me to review, and I will see what I can do. Check the link below for my playlist of Best of 2019, and the playlist for Best of 2020 will be started as soon as something good comes out in 2020. I'm Trent Windsor, and this is The Perfect Shuffle. Say that 7 times fast. Bright, bouncy, brash, bright, bouncy, bright, 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 bright.